Set.
Very good. I'm Chris Pushkarsh. I'm calling today's meeting of the Olympic Authority's Governance Committee to order at 9:04 a.m. Thank you all for attending today. We are welcoming committee members in person and remotely via video conference. Also to the public viewing, thank you for joining us today. Please note this meeting is being recorded. A link to the recording will be posted on the Olympic Authority's website following the meeting. As we start today's items, I'll remind committee members to please speak clearly as possible and to identify yourselves each time you speak or make a motion. An agenda is included in your committee packet. And Renee, can we please have a roll call to confirm a quorum is present?
Chris Pushkarsh.
Present.
Steve Hunt.
Here.
Art Lucy.
Here.
Joe Martens.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Very good, thank you. First item we have is approval of previous minutes for committee action. May I have a motion approving the minutes of our last meeting held on March 18, 2026?
So moved, Art.
Thank you, Art. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second it. Joe Martens.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Any abstained? Hearing none. The motion carries. On to new business. The next item on the agenda is reviewing the mission statement and performance measurements and proposed resolution 584. Michelle, would you please provide some background regarding this issue?
Yes, this resolution is actually the combination of discussion at the March meeting and over the mission statement and any discussion today over the performance measurements so that it can be submitted to the full board for consideration. Because the performance measurements were not yet available at the time the committee met, excuse me, in March. The draft performance measures report reflects that the Olympic Authority has successfully delivered its mission and that the performance measurements meet the needs of its stakeholders.
Very good and fairly straightforward. I'll note the materials provided were very, very helpful and thoughtfully put together. So I'll ask anyone, if there are any questions or do we want to have discussion regarding this item? Hearing none, I'll call for a motion to recommend that the Board of Directors adopt proposed resolution 584 as presented. Can I have a motion?
So moved, Art.
Thank you, Art. A second?
I'll second. Joe.
Steve.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe / Steve. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, the motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the designation of the Olympic Authority's policymakers for 2026-2027 and proposed resolution 585. Michelle, would you please provide us some background on this item?
Yes, this is another resolution that I hope is fairly straightforward. This is the annual resolution that the board reviews every June for the list of designated policymakers for the organization. The list of policymakers and their positions are included in the resolution. The law requires filing this every year with the Ethics Commission. The resolution also includes the Olympic Authority to make any changes necessary to the list during the year if we add any policymakers in between the June meetings.
Very good. Another housekeeping item for us. Does anyone have any questions or want to have any discussion regarding this item? Hearing none, I'll call for a motion to recommend that the Board of Directors adopt proposed resolution 585 as presented. I have a motion.
So moved, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. A second?
Steve Hunt. Second.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on, our next item on the agenda is the review of certain policies and procedures and proposed resolution 586. Michelle, call upon you again to please provide some background regarding this item.
Sure. The June meeting is where the Olympic Authority Board reviews the policies that are posted on our website for the public every year. All of the resolution or all of the policies are the same as last year, except as the ones approved last year, except for a change to the background check policy and a change to the code of ethics policy. The change to the code of ethics policy is that we've expanded the list of positions that require approval for outside activities, particularly jobs. The law allows the organizations, the state agencies and authorities to be more restrictive than the code of ethics law, which requires approval only for policymakers. Because we thought that it would be best to make sure that we have no conflicts of interest, we have added the need for approval for any general manager, director, or senior manager by the ethics officer after determination that there is no conflict of interest with the outside activity, particularly an outside job. The background check policy has been revised because there was a change in the law this year to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The general business law now prohibits the use of credit history checks for most employment purposes except certain circumstances specified in the law. The circumstances that are relevant to the Olympic Authority are persons in non-clerical roles who may have access to trade secret information, as that term is defined in the law, persons who have the authority to, signatory authority over third-party assets valued at $10,000 or more, or persons with a fiduciary responsibility who have the authority to enter into financial agreements valued at $10,000 or more on behalf of ORDA, and persons whose regular duties allow the modification of digital security systems established to prevent authorized access to employers' networks or databases. So the new background check policy removes the list of positions that were previously subject to a credit check under Category 1, and the law will now be incorporated into the background check policy while we assess the positions that fall within these categories that do require background checks in accordance with the new law.
Very good. And it sounds like these decisions were made, from a risk management perspective, focusing on, the very risk that that check is designed to control against.
That's right.
Very good. And again, I'll note that the materials provided were very thorough and a hearty read. And I'll ask if anyone on the committee has any questions or wants to have any further discussion on this item.
I'll just, this is Art, just ask, how does it work with someone's history regarding child molestation or things of that nature? How's it work with?
That's a different section of the background check policy. Those are different categories of employees who have frontline access to our guests, particularly minors. That's under Category 2, 3. There are 3 categories under the background check, and I'm not remembering which one it's under now. Brenda, do you know?
Category 3.
Category 3. So that is covered in a different section of the background check policy.
Thank you.
And Chris, this is Joe. Just concur that the background materials were extensive and thorough. And also, I think the expansion of the policy regarding the type of employees covered by consideration for conflicts is a good thing. Those positions seem to me like they are senior level positions, and I think it's prudent to extend it as we did. So full concurrence with the recommendation.
Yeah, as do I. I think particularly with those positions that, provide a lot of discretion to the incumbent for all sorts of, business activities. I agree completely. Does anyone have any other questions or further discussion on anything contained within those materials? And if not, may I have a motion to recommend that the Board of Directors adopt proposed resolution 586 as presented?
So moved, Art.
Thank you, Art. We have a second.
Second,
Thank you, Joe. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, the motion carries. At this point, I mean, this concludes our agenda of business for today's governance committee meeting. Are there any other items any of the committee members would like to raise or discuss? Hearing none, I would like a motion to adjourn.
So moved. This is Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Second by Art.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none. Today's meeting is adjourned at 9:15 a.m. Thank you, everyone.